Hello and welcome to Beautifully Balanced. Health and happiness aren't found in a bottle of prescription pills or with any fad diet. Instead, we can activate your body's natural ability to heal itself. And that is exactly what we're going to do together here. I'm Sarah Teeple, a women's integrative health practitioner, and I blend the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda with the modern science of functional medicine to help you heal your gut, rebalance your hormones, and calm anxiety naturally. Here I'll teach you the smart, sustainable, personalized, and fun way to use nutrition, herbs, and healthy lifestyle to feel vibrant, energized, and beautiful inside and out. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to Beautifully Balanced. I am so excited to have you here. Today we are talking about all things fall. This is an Ayurvedic autumn episode of the Beautifully Balanced podcast. So where I am in the world is a little city called Louisville, Kentucky. Kentucky, people always think of the South of the United States, but Louisville is actually a little more Midwest. But we are definitely a four-season type place. And of the four seasons, I will tell you, fall is just my favorite. Although, is fall everyone's favorite? I'm kind of wondering this. I think it might be, especially just people that live, again, in this four-season, like deciduous forest type climate. So fall is a beautiful time of year. And today we're going to talk all about Ayurveda and seasonality. Because as you may know by now, the two modalities that I use in my integrative practice are functional medicine, which is more of a Western medicine. We rely somewhat on a lot of lab testing. We can test for hormones, gut, minerals, all kinds of different things. And then I marry that with Ayurveda, an Eastern system of medicine indigenous to the country of India. Ayurveda is a natural system of medicine, and its core belief is that your body is always trying to come back into balance. So your body is your ally. Furthermore, your body and you are a creature of nature. So the closer we can get, the more we can return to a natural way of life and of being, the more intrinsically healthy we will be, and the more just exponential benefits we will receive. More energy, better moods, ideal weight easily. We'll just thrive more naturally, the more natural that we are. So I teach my beautifully balanced clients how to live more aligned with nature and more aligned with their true nature. And everyone's nature is a little bit different. It's called your dosha in Ayurveda. And we go a lot more into that in other podcasts, and we'll definitely do other episodes all about learning your dosha. If you want to learn your dosha quick and easy way, you can come see me at sarahteeple.com and take my free dosha quizzes. There's a quiz where you can learn your physical dosha or your body constitution, and a quiz where you can learn your mental emotional dosha or your mind constitution. So they're quick and easy, and you can hop over to my website to do that right now for free. But besides dosha, another really important core kind of way that we approach Ayurveda and that we approach health in Ayurveda is through seasonality. Our body has different requirements. Our body has different needs in each season, and we want to be very aware of that and very respectful of that. So right now it's early October, early to mid-October, and you may be listening to this at a different time, and that's okay. These concepts are still really interesting and important no matter what time of year this is, but especially relevant in the fall and in mid-October. So every season has different qualities. And in Ayurveda, these qualities or gunas are associated with different seasons. They're also associated with the doshas. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. And then I'm going to tell you some really great, simple tips of what to eat more of and what to drink more of this season so you can have your best energy, your best digestion, and you can stave off fall and vata. Vata is the dosha associated with fall in Ayurveda. But so you can stave off some symptoms that come up for a lot of people in the fall. So symptoms a lot of people experience in the fall are things like more gas, bloat, more kind of digestive discomfort. Things that maybe once were agreeing with you digestively in the summer might just be sitting a little bit different in the fall. So, more digestive symptoms. Sometimes we can err on the side of constipation a little bit more in the fall, or just more irregular bowel movements. Fall and vata are all about sort of irregularity. And we see that play out in our mind and our behaviors as well, in that many people are very busy during the fall, right? School starting for kids, you've got a lot of projects at work. We're all kind of scurrying around, almost like the squirrels collecting nuts in preparation for the winter time. And because of all of this additional scurrying, this rapid pace, these long to-do lists, we are going to be experiencing some mental and physical symptoms of that kind of go, go, go nature. So things like feeling scattered mentally. I'm going to raise my hand big time in this one. Like, how many of us, when our to-do list gets so long and we just think we can kind of do all the things at once, we end up getting really scattered. We're attempting to multitask and we just end up feeling stressed, overwhelmed, totally scatterbrained, and like we're actually not doing anything as well as we could. So that is very vata. Overwhelm, stress, anxiety. These are all vata type symptoms. And everything that I teach you today about how to eat and drink are actually even going to help these mental symptoms. So it's so, so interesting how nature, the qualities of the season, your mind and body, and these kind of vata influences of fall, how it's this big continuum. It's this feedback cycle. So the more we can understand the season and we can understand our tendencies that tend to get us a little bit out of balance, then we can know exactly what to do to bring ourselves back into balance. And we can actually apply some of this wisdom ahead of time to avoid getting out of balance. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the qualities of fall season and how that might show up in your mind and body. And then I'm going to teach you about how to balance these things or what to do so you don't experience these symptoms. So, in Ayurveda, fall season is more tied to dryness, the quality of dryness. So, not moisture. We think of summer, especially in Louisville, Kentucky, girl, as hot, humid, muggy. Fall, things get drier. That's essentially why the leaves fall off the trees, because of the cold and the dry. So you might see some of this dryness in your body, in your mind, in the fall as drier skin, drier hair, drier lips. I know I've been applying my Medicine Mama's Bee Magic on my lips like 10 times a day. Even a drier colon, which would lead to things like constipation, can lead to more gas. Dryness can lead to tighter muscles. Your muscles and tissues just get a little tighter. So that's all about dryness. Also, there's the quality of lighter in the fall. So summer, again, near the end of summer, we've accumulated some heat, some humidity, some moisture. We can feel kind of heavy. And in fall, things just tend to kind of lighten up. And again, we're seeing that in kind of the scurrying around nature. And that can lead to mostly things like light or scanty sleep. So if you started to experience some insomnia or just more trouble getting to sleep, maybe your mind won't turn off. This is really common in the fall. Other things, cold quality in the fall. So cold hands and feet, reduced circulation, stiffness of muscles, even arthritis. I'm cracking my knuckles as I say this. Arthritis or cracking. I don't have arthritis in my hands, but I've got those cold, cracky knuckles. And that is cold or little air bubbles in the synovial fluid in your joints. Next up, rough quality. So rough, it could be like dry, cracked skin, drier hair, nails, again, cracking of the joints. That's a sign of a rough quality. And subtle quality. This can be seen in things like fear, anxiety, insecurity, fine goosebumps, little muscle twitches, so little eyebrow twitches. Those might increase in the fall. Next is called mobile quality. So we're mobile, we're running around, we're doing many things at once. We might have restless eyes, more active eyebrows and foreheads. I've got very active eyebrows and a lot of little lines on my forehead because of it. More mobile hands and feet. We might be just kind of gesticulating. Maybe more rapidly moving dreams, like those, I call them stress dreams, when I feel like I'm just running around from place to place. And you feel like there's this kind of urgency and fast movement behind it. That's very vata. Maybe more mood swings and scattered mind as well. Those are all kind of symptoms of increased mobile quality. Next is clear. So there might be this sort of clearness of understanding concepts quickly, but then also forgetting them quickly. And that's very vata. You feel like, oh yeah, I'm super inspired. I totally got this. I hear what you're saying. Then, 2 minutes later, oh, what were we talking about? Mentally, that clear quality can also be experienced as almost a void or a separation or kind of a loneliness. Have you ever just felt kind of more isolated in the fall? And I almost liken this to that bittersweet feeling of fall. You know how there is this sort of sweetness and presence about the fall, but it almost feels a little bit sad too. So that could be kind of a manifestation of this clear quality. And the last quality, or guna in Sanskrit, of fall is called astringent quality. And astringent is kind of similar to dryness. And it's almost this dryness that has like a pulling nature. So astringency can be kind of detoxifying to tissues. And when I think of astringent, I think of this facial product that we used to use in the 80s. It was called 1006 astringent. It's like this thing you put on a cotton ball, like to clean makeup off your face or something, even though in the 80s I was, really young, not wearing makeup. But we would rub this astringent on our face and it would kind of pull dirt out of your pores. And then you'd look at the cotton ball and be like, ooh, look how dirty and brown my cotton ball is. But you felt like very satisfied that you got all that off your face. So anyway, astringency has this dry pulling quality. And in fall, you might experience this as a dryness in your throat or much drier nasal passages. That dryness in the throat can almost be felt as a choking sensation, or you kind of have like a little piece of dust or something in your throat and you can't really get it out. So it's almost like a little hiccup or a choke. So that is an example of astringent quality in fall. So all these qualities that I told you about are really important. And I thank you for sticking with me. I know that's kind of more like the academic philosophical part of Ayurveda, but I feel like it's so important to at least attempt to understand that on an elemental and a qualitative level. So you can then understand the recommendations that I'm about to give you. And you cannot just take the recommendations and the suggestions and say, oh, I'm going to do this because Sarah said it was a good idea. But you can say, oh, now I understand why I should drink more of this tea. Now I understand why I should choose this food over this food in this season. It'll all just start to click in your mind and make so much more sense for you, and therefore be so much more empowering for you. So that is my hope for you. And that is why I kind of set it up with the kind of technical stuff first. I also want to share with you that in Ayurveda, we say that like increases like and opposites balance. So a really good example of this would be our first quality we talked about. So that's dryness. We talked about more dryness in fall, dry skin, hair, could be dryness in the digestive tract. And what we would not want to do, so what would be like increasing like, an example of that would be, say we are to have dry skin and a dry digestive tract, and then we're going to just cover our skin with like talcum powder that is very dry. And then we're going to eat a bunch of like plain saltine crackers and not wash it down with any water. So doesn't first all that just sounds weird and kind of gross, like something you wouldn't do to begin with? But I give you that kind of extreme and ridiculous example of two really dry things to show you that if you were to apply that dry powder to your dry skin, is your skin going to get drier or more moisturized? It's obviously going to get drier. Likewise with your digestive tract. Those gross, dry saltine crackers are going to like clog up your digestive tract and just make it drier. And in a dry digestive tract, things don't move. It leads to constipation. So, like increases like, we don't want to be doing the dry things. Instead, opposites balance. So, how to balance these aggravated qualities of dry, light, cold, rough, subtle, mobile, clear, and astringent that I mentioned? How do we balance those? And the answer is, drum roll, we do more things that are warming, calming, grounding, hydrating, and nourishing. And don't all those just sound yummy and juicy and good? Like they're just going to make you feel so great? Well, they are, especially in the fall season. So now I'm going to give you some more specific tips. I'm going to illustrate how do we do these beautiful balancing things? How are we going to warm, calm, ground, hydrate, and nourish you this fall? Well, this is what we're going to do. So food-wise, for the fall, we want you to be choosing more warm foods. Warm and hydrating and nourishing. So yeah, we're going to actually cover several of these things: warming, grounding, hydrating, and nourishing by doing some warm soups and stews. So in the fall, we want less dry things, less crackers, toast, nuts, dry protein bars, dry like beef jerky, even like dried fruits. So these things are really drying. They pull moisture from our digestive tract. And if we're already dry, that's moisture that our digestive tract just does not have to spare. And it's really going to slow things down. And who wants slow, sluggish metabolism and stomach pains this fall? Not I. And I'm sure you don't either. So more warm soups and stews. We're going to use some of those digestive spices that Ayurveda loves so much. So sprinkling in some black pepper, some cumin, some turmeric, maybe even a little chili powder, some cinnamon, some cardamom. Those are warming spices. Next, we're going to ground and nourish with some roasted root vegetables. So I love this because it's all so intuitive. I think of like my Thanksgiving dinner table, and there's some sweet potatoes on there. So those are an amazing roasted root vegetable. And my partner would make a really cheesy joke, the roasted roots. There's a band from the 90s called Rusted Root. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't, but they were like sort of a hippie band. That was my major hippie days back then. But I want you and me to be eating more roasted root veggies in the fall. So things like sweet potatoes, winter squash are wonderful, and they're abundant right now. So butternut squash, acorn squash, spaghetti squash. There are all kinds of other wonderful ones with just like super cool names, and they look beautiful and weird at the farmer's market. One's called delicata. I love those a lot. Anyway, there are many, many beautiful squash, but we're not talking as much about summer squash like zucchini and yellow squash, although those are lovely too. But we're talking about these more hardy, grounding, nourishing squash that take a longer time to grow. So they just have this really kind of fortifying aspect to them. We also want you using some more nourishing, healthy fats. So this is a time, fall season, when we want to add extra oils. And I want to specify that we want to do a little more oils, our healthy fats in the form of oils, and not quite as much in the form of nuts. So this might be surprising, but the reason is, if you'll remember, we don't want to do as much dry stuff. And nuts have a lot of healthy fat, but they are very drying. They require a lot of digestive power and to digest them and absorb and assimilate the nutrition therein. But in the fall time, we've all got a little more vata, this sensitive digestion, and we are going to absorb and benefit so much more from healthy fats in the form of extra oils. So, my favorite is ghee. Grass-fed organic ghee. And if you haven't, you should go back and listen to the episode number 18 about my 2-ingredient fall elixir. Spoiler alert, it's called ghee tea, and I teach you how to make it for your digestive style. It's amazing. You got to do it. Other nourishing healthy fats, coconut oil and olive oil. So I'm not saying you can't eat nuts. They might even be better digested, more easily digested as nut butters right now. But opt for just some extra oils, even putting a little oil in your tea or coffee. Hopefully you're drinking more tea than coffee. You can go back and listen to the episode about coffee. That's episode number 14, where you can get your coffee tips. I love to hearken back to former episodes and tease you with excitement about future episodes. So fun. All right. So last but not least, what to eat this fall. More warm, milky stuff, especially at night. And this doesn't mean that you have to drink cow milk or dairy milk. You could choose a milk replacement like an unsweetened organic soy, almond, hemp, coconut, oat. When I use these nut or seed or coconut milks, I like to use half of the milk and half just like boiled water, half regular water. It just kind of dilutes it a little bit, and you're getting less of those binders, which are often gut disruptors like carrageenan or xanthan gum or guar gum. They're these gums. They're basically like just these kind of processed chemicals. So the nut milk and the water that it's used, that they use to make it, so they don't separate in the carton as it sits on the counter or, in the fridge section. But anyway, so I like to water my milk down. I'll do silk unsweetened soy milk with half water. It's organic, of course. If you're going to do soy, you have to do organic. We also make coconut milk at home. It's actually so easy. You basically just blend shredded unsweetened coconut with water and then strain it. But this warm, milky stuff, one of my favorite ways to enjoy this well is to put maybe some coconut milk in a curry or a soup that I'm making. And you could really kill many birds with one stone if you did like a warm, blended sweet potato soup with a can of coconut milk and some cinnamon and ginger. Oh my gosh, you would be getting your healthy fat, you'd be getting your digestive warming spices, you'd be getting your roasted root veggies, and you'd be getting your warm soups and stews. So that would be tremendous autumnal bang for your buck. You should totally do that. Another way that I love to get this warm, milky stuff at night is to do some turmeric milk as my nighttime beverage. And I like to throw my own together. My Beautifully Balanced cookbook that I give my clients has an easy turmeric milk recipe, but you can also find it at your favorite co-op. In Louisville, Kentucky, we have Rainbow Blossom, and I like Gaia Herbs brand. There are some other brands too. All right. So those are our tips for what to eat this fall season, how to balance that fall vata aggravation, how to warm, calm, ground, hydrate, and nourish. And a couple more tips as far as teas for this fall. So my favorite tea for the fall is ginger tea. And that can be enjoyed before meals or between meals or first thing in the morning or at night. And ginger tea is wonderfully anti-inflammatory. It's wonderfully warming. It is just so beautiful on so many levels, and it tastes great. And my favorite brand is Traditional Medicinals, and always choose an organic tea, or you can just chop up some ginger root and boil that baby and have your ginger tea. Other drinks, I already mentioned that turmeric milk before bed, so wonderful and beautiful. And we want to make sure that we're doing more of our drinks warm this fall season. So not a lot of cold, icy beverages, more warming, grounding, nourishing drinks. So, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode about beautiful foods and drinks to help balance your vata in the fall season. And again, I recommend going ahead and putting some of these suggestions into place before you start feeling dry and cold and rough and scattered. Go ahead and do some of these warming, calming, grounding, hydrating, and nourishing things. Love yourself into this fall season. You deserve it. So thank you for being here, and I can't wait to be with you next time to get beautifully balanced together. Thank you for being here with me today. Remember, you can feel your best naturally. Just try one new thing a week that you learn here and watch your body and life transform. And if you're ready to take this to the next level, learn your dosha, get your personalized holistic plan, and live beautifully balanced, you've got to come see me at sarahteeple.com. That's SARAHTEEPLE.com. There you can learn about how to work with me one-on-one or book a free holistic chat and just tell me what you're working on. I love to hear from you and help you live your best life. So until next time, be well. Oh, and if you love this conversation, please rate and review our podcast. That really helps more people find natural healthcare options. Thanks again, and see you soon.